Reputation Wrap on the Radio Vision Network's Morning Coffee Show. I'm Gary Frisch with Swordfish Communications with my co-host Mark. And once again, we're here to talk about things related to public relations, reputation, what small businesses can do to get their own name out there, and all that fun stuff. We are on the floor. We were staging a sit-in this morning.
Sitting on the floor, Gary. What's going on here?
Well, you know, it kind of leads into what the Senate Democrats did yesterday, their last 2 days. They staged a sit-in on the Senate floor to rally for these votes on gun control bills. And Paul Ryan came out and called it a publicity stunt. And to some degree it was, to a very large degree it was. He's right about that. And we are doing our own publicity stunt here by sitting on the floor because, you know, trust me, later on today this video is going to go viral. Yeah. Because here are a couple of very serious talk show hosts sitting on the floor to do their show. So mission accomplished.
You know what? It's so crazy, though, because I watched a lot of the clips from it, and these guys, you know, I know they're trying to do a good thing, right? We're talking about gun control. We can't have these horrible shootings that happen, so we want to reform the laws and all that stuff. But, Gary, talk about the theatrics and the antics that went on with this stuff.
It is theatrics, and as it turns out, and I just found this out yesterday, in the Senate, this occurred in Congress, not the Senate Hall. In Congress, there is no filibuster.
Okay.
Or vice versa. I'm not quite sure on that.
Right.
One of them has the filibuster. The Congress, who staged a sit-in the other day, do not have the option of a filibuster, so this was their alternative, I suppose. And it was to draw attention, and they did draw attention. Even though C-SPAN cut out the cameras, then the social media videos picked up.
Right.
You know, Vimeo and such. The members of Congress started reporting the proceedings, so we got to see video of it.
Was there a situation where, I don't know, did they leave? Did they shut it down, and then there were still guys there sitting in? Like, wasn't there something like different or weird about this scenario?
I think that they stayed overnight.
Yeah, it was something different.
Yeah, but it ended yesterday at some point, and I'm not sure, and I don't know if anybody's going to be sure for a little while what the result of that's going to be. Paul Ryan has steadfastly said that it's not going to affect anything. But I don't want to make this too much of a political conversation. I just wanted to use an example of what I want to talk about today, which is the publicity stunt. And, you know, it's a great way to garner press for your organization. And the nice thing about it is, regardless of the size of your business, you can find some way to do a publicity stunt.
Right.
And get good press coverage, and it may not even cost a lot of money. It's a form of guerrilla marketing, and so you're not spending a lot of money necessarily, but it can be very effective. But again, you have to do it right. Kind of like newsjacking that we've talked about before.
Right.
You don't want to go off half-cocked because you can have very bad results.
Right, it can go the other way.
Exactly, and just a little bit of history. Perhaps one of the earliest examples of a great publicity stunt was the Boston Tea Party in 1773.
That's kind of interesting.
There was no photography, no social media, but word spread. It went viral for its day, the fact that they tossed crates of tea off the ship. And this galvanized support for the American Revolution.
Yeah, that's amazing. I never thought of it like that, but that's absolutely what it was.
And then there was a train service provider back in the late 1800s who intentionally crashed 2 trains in a mock town they set up to promote train travel.
Wow.
And 3 people died.
Wow. You're kidding me.
Because of unexpected consequences.
Wow.
Even though safety measures weren't in place.
Yeah, we're going to crash these trains, but we're not going to expect anything bad to happen.
Hopefully your publicity stunt won't involve deaths or injuries. But more likely, and if you're not careful, you could cause fear in the public.
Right.
And that happened in Boston in 2007 when the Cartoon Network hung up these electronic light-up signs.
Yeah, I thought they were bombs.
That had wires sticking out of them to promote their programs.
Aqua Teen Hunger Force.
Yes, exactly. And people got afraid and reported them, and the bomb squad had to come out.
I mean, that was such a silly thing because, I mean, Aqua Teen Hunger Force was a popular show on Adult Swim, which is on the Cartoon Network, but their audience wasn't widely known enough to know really what was going on. There was only a few people that knew what those things were.
Yeah, they were pretty obvious for fans of the network.
Right.
But the the majority of the public who don't watch the show saw wires and lights and things that looked like IEDs.
And this was at the same time that the big dig was going on up there. I don't know if you remember, the highway system was under like major construction, and they had like all of these issues with the tunnels, and then these things started showing up. So it really was like a firestorm of just horrible publicity stunt.
Yeah, and Turner Broadcasting, which owns Cartoon Network, wound up paying $2 million to the city to compensate them for the emergency response and all of that.
Yeah, because people were calling 911 all over the place. They're like, what are these things?
Now, sometimes your publicity stunt will go better. Back in 2001, Taco Bell put a giant banner in the middle of the Atlantic Ocean with their bell in the middle of it, their logo in the middle of it, saying the Mir space station was expected to fall to Earth at that time. And they said if the core of the Mir space station landed on their banner, everybody in America would get a free taco.
Wow.
And, I mean, the odds were astronomical, so to speak,
right?
pun intended. But they did take out an insurance policy in case it did happen to cover their liability.
Right.
But that was a fairly safe way to get your name out there, and it was very widely reported in all the media.
That's funny. I don't remember that. That, to me, is one of the funniest things ever.
That's a classic example.
Yeah, because it's such a good thing, because the chances are, like you said, the chances of it actually hitting it are so small. But you did. They created this great story around it.
Yep.
They were able to capitalize on a current event, which I know is one of your, when you're talking about people and you're trying to coach them in public relations, that's one of the things, is trying to capitalize on things as they're happening.
Right. The newsjacking. Like
Yeah.
I at the time thought Target would have been very smart to create a bullseye target with their logo in the middle of the Atlantic Ocean.
Yeah.
But just really quickly, sometimes I do publicity stunts for my clients as well. And back in 2009 is one example, when the Philadelphia Phillies were competing for their second consecutive World Series.
Cool.
Every media outlet in the Philadelphia market was thinking about the Phillies, and if you didn't have anything related to the Philadelphia Phillies, you were just ignored. So I was representing a make-your-own-wine winery in South Jersey, and I said, why don't we come up with a Phillies tribute wine? We'll call it Phillies Finest. We'll say it was made from New Jersey grapes the year before when they won the World Series, and it takes about a year for the wine to come to fruition.
Right.
And then we're going to uncork it for guests of the winery. We didn't sell it because of possible trademark infringement. We didn't want to go there.
Right.
But we got on local television, on 2 local TV stations, with Philly's finest wine.
Oh, cool.
Because the Phillies were on everybody's mind.
Yeah.
So see what's going on and try to find opportunities to get your company name out.
That was brilliant, and I don't know if you're aware of this now, that one of the wineries in the area now makes a Phillies wine that is branded by the Phillies and licensed and all of that. I wonder where they got that idea.
Well, this bottle's a very rare thing. It's never going to be open. It's a keeper.
It's a really cool bottle. It's a great label, and wine drinkers, they obviously like good wine, but the label kind of speaks to wine drinkers in different ways, and I'm a Phillies fan, so that one really speaks to me.
So we'll be back with more Reputation Rap after these messages. Thank you for joining us this morning.
Simply Gents, located in Marlton, New Jersey, takes care of all your grooming needs, including haircuts, straight razor shaves, massages, facial, manicures, pedicures, and waxing. To find more information or book an appointment, visit us online at www.simplygents.com. The secret weapon of a well-groomed man, Simply Gents.
When it's time for Jersey Mike's to make a really great sub, this is what we do. It's what we've been doing. It's what we've always done. It's what we'll always do. So what are you doing? Jersey Mike's. Be a sub above.
Today's show has been sponsored by More Than Gifts. Come see our new location in Marlton, New Jersey. Not just gifts, but more.
Today's show was brought to you by Alicia Kelly of White Horse RV Center in Williamstown, New Jersey. Alicia is your RV expert. Contact Alicia at alicia@whitehorserv.com or give her a call at 856-262-1717, extension 203. When you think of RV, think Alicia Kelly.
When it's time for Jersey Mike's to give a sub some sizzle, this is the way. The way it's always been. The way it always should be. The way it always will be. Because that's just the way it's supposed to be. Jersey Mike's. Be a sub above.
Extra Innings is the nation's premier indoor baseball and softball training center, featuring indoor batting cages, 7 multi-use tunnels, and training rooms. Extra Innings can provide professional instruction, private and group lessons, and the best year-round clinics. Along with a nationally recognized pro shop that features the latest and widest selection of equipment and apparel, our experienced staff can provide you with the right instruction and help you find the best equipment for your ability and budget. Extra Innings, where the game never ends.
Today's show has been sponsored by More Than Gifts. Come see our new location in Marlton, New Jersey. Not just gifts, but more. Today's show has been sponsored by Farmers Insurance in Voorhees, New Jersey. To protect your assets and the people you love, call Mike Skoranek, your local Farmers Insurance agent, at 856-336-2553.
We are farmers. Bum, ba-dum, bum, 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 bum.
Welcome back to Reputation Wrap on Morning Coffee, part of the Radio Vision Network. I'm Gary Frisch with Swordfish Communications, here once again, now seated. My co-host Mark.
Good
It
morning,
was
Gary.
okay on the floor, but
Yeah, I was getting really comfortable, but it was really
I think
funny.
we accomplished our goal of protesting.
Yeah, we definitely, and I think you're right. That's going to go viral, and people are going to be like, "Yeah, we joined their cause." We're not sure what our cause is, but I was enjoying sitting there. I felt like a student again. I felt like I was learning a
Our cause
lot.
is to galvanize support for better internet television.
Yeah, now we're talking. That's it. That's it. Send us around, make us go viral, people. We love it. We love you.
So we were on the floor and talking about the congressional sit-in by Democrats the last couple of days, and Paul Ryan criticized that as a publicity stunt. But Paul Ryan took some heat himself because apparently he has been somewhat the king of publicity stunts himself. So it's like the pot calling the kettle black.
Well, he had a lot of experience with it, right? So he was able to identify it perfectly.
Yes, exactly. And one instance was back in 2012 when he was running as the vice presidential candidate. He was highly criticized for kind of spontaneously stopping off at a Ohio homeless shelter on his way to the airport. And he was really unexpected at the homeless shelter. This wasn't pre-planned, so they were kind of stunned to see him coming in. It's also the fact that this homeless shelter was not partisan in any way, and they were a little bit uncomfortable, it turned out, with his presence there.
Or they didn't want him there.
Well, they weren't expecting him. Let's just say.
Right.
And so he went about trying to help, and so he starts washing some dishes. But everything that he washed had already been cleaned. So photographers in tow. He was caught on camera washing clean dishes and that's basically the strict definition of a photo op. Now, just to clarify, a photo op is a close cousin of a publicity stunt. Publicity stunt is conceived solely for the purpose of generating publicity. It's inorganic. It has no other reason for being. A photo op could be either completely fabricated, such as this case, or it could be based around something that's already happening with your business. Maybe you're introducing a new product and you want to stage the product being used and invite the media to take a picture. If the media doesn't come to take a picture, you can take your own photos and send them to the media and hopefully get some press that way. And this is something every small business can do. If you have a fast food franchise, for example, and you want to get your store in the local paper, you can mark the anniversary of the founding of the chain by rolling back prices for a day, and putting your counter staff in those paper hats and the uniforms that they wore back in the day, and invite the media to come and get a line of people trying to get 29-cent hamburgers
Right.
or whatever the case may be, being served by these retro-looking counter clerks. That's a great way to generate publicity with a photo op for your own business.
Yeah, and I think it's really important, Gary, just to mention that the things that you talk about and the principles that you apply, they can apply to even the smallest of businesses. So don't feel like, oh, well, I shouldn't call Gary because I'm not a big enough player. No, Gary can help you. He can help businesses of all sizes, from the big corporations to the one-person businesses. He can help get your word out there. So I urge you to give him a call.
Yeah, thank you. And they don't even have to. I mean, they can do their own thing as well. And I hate saying stuff like this on the air because
Right.
it takes business away from me.
I know.
But my point is to help people generate their own publicity sometimes. And all it really takes is creative, out-of-the-box thinking. How can you relate your business? It doesn't have to necessarily be something going on in the news, but how can you relate your business to something fun, something interesting? I mean, for heaven's sake, we're talking about a photograph.
Right.
Think of something creative. Now, if you're awarding a scholarship or a check or something to a local organization, you can have the people with a big check shaking hands. It's fine. We call that the grip and grin, and the media calls that the grip and grin photo. It might, there might be a picture in the local, weekly newspaper,
Right.
perhaps. But if you want more coverage than that, you need something beyond the grip and grin, or beyond the groundbreaking, the shovel, the
Right.
gold-plated shovel.
Right.
Think creatively, and come up with fun ideas and something that would be a nice photo. And if you can't come up with the idea and you have something that you want to talk about, but you can't come up with an idea for a photo, talk to the photographer.
Right.
Find a professional photographer or a freelancer who does photojournalism, or somebody who's photographed for the Associated Press, perhaps. They are skilled at coming up with not only great ideas for a photo, but interesting angles to make them different, to make them stand out. Sometimes photo ops, like publicity stunts, though, go bad, so you have to think about them at the time. And one example is back in Michael Dukakis' presidential campaign in 1988. He was visiting a General Dynamics tank plant in Missouri, I think it was, and he thought it would be a good idea to climb on top of the tank and put on a tank helmet, and this has gone down in history as an example of what not to do in your campaign.
Yeah.
Because he just looked like a dope wearing this oversized helmet on his head. He looked like a kid playing Army.
Yeah.
And he was widely panned for that, and the Republican critics talked about the fact that he was weak on military, in fact.
Yeah, well, I mean, a lot of experts say that was the single moment that was his ultimate demise. That's what put it in front of the American people how awkward this guy was going to be as your president.
There's two things, that and Willie Horton.
Yeah.
And we won't get into
That
that.
didn't help.
That's
Right.
a different topic. But there's all kinds of opportunities, and you need to think out of the box and find ways to get your company's messages out visually. So, I used to work in Philadelphia, and there was one of the local TV stations is right on Market Street, and if you wanted to get your company on television, sometimes park outside of the studio,
Right.
and you do something unusual.
Right.
And I noticed this in force one day when I was walking. It was the middle of winter time. Everybody has their heavy jackets on, and there was a glass-walled truck parked in front of the studio with a beach scene, and even a beach volleyball net set up in the
That's
truck.
cool, yeah.
It wasn't a painting. It was actually sand inside the truck
Right.
with a clear panel.
Like a big flatbed almost.
Yes, and no, it wasn't. It was an enclosed truck, but with clear.
Right. With glass
Yes,
and a roof and all that. Yeah.
exactly. And it was placed there by the Florida Tourism Bureau to
Brilliant.
encourage people to get away during the cold winter here in New Jersey. And that got on the local TV station because they had parked in front of the station. So, find something that will generate interest.
Yeah, and if you have any questions or doubts that you're not sure if you could do it on your own, I know who you can call. It's this guy right
That
here.
might be me.
Yeah. Yeah, well, and listen, because I want people to understand that, he tells you that you need to promote your business and you need to do these different things like photo opportunities and press releases and all of these things. He's telling you this so to help you, and he's not always looking to crush his bottom line because he wants you to be successful. So in turn, to make the cycle go round and round and round, you guys got to call
Well,
Gary.
I can also help with
and-
the mechanics of it and getting
Yeah.
the word out to the local media. I've got the contacts. I've got, I have their ear.
Yeah.
So, you might have a great idea, but you might not know how to get it out. I can help with
Or
that
to
as
execute
well.
it, right, that's what you do.
Exactly.
Well, you're the expert, and I think that's what I want people to understand is that, look, you could do a lot of this stuff on your own. You could do it, but you sometimes you might be better off letting the expert handle it.
Yeah, I'll make sure that you don't have a Boston, IED situation
Right.
in your publicity stunt. I'll help you think these things through
Yeah,
as well.
you know what? Why don't you tell everybody right now how to get in touch with you?
It's I'm online at www.swordfishcomm.com, and my phone number is 856-767-7772. And by the way, Mark, if you're thinking of a photo opportunity or publicity stunt, if you can involve children or animals, those are two very reliable factors to get the attention of the media.
Yeah, well, we like things that are cute and furry.
Yeah.
Right? I
Yeah.
mean, that's pretty much, that covers kids, that covers animals and all that. But, there's thoughtful ways to do that stuff. So, look, again, I'll say it again. Doesn't matter what size business you have. If you've got a big business or a small business, you need to promote it and you need to get the right message out there. Gary can help you do that.
Yeah, and it doesn't matter, like Mark said, the size of the business. You just have to think of something creative.
So this was awesome, Gary. Another successful reputation wrap. I was sitting on the floor in the beginning. Now I'm up in the chair. I can't wait to see what next week brings. We're going to be on the cusp of 4th of July.
Next week we'll be sitting on the counter.
I'll put you you're on the counter, pal. I don't know what you're talking about. No, I look forward to it because you always bring such great stuff to Morning Coffee and Reputation Wrap. I love it, and I have officially run out of things to say, so I'm going to let you close us out here.
Well, thank you for joining us this week on Reputation Wrap, part of the Radio Vision Network. We'll see you next week.